What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today is Saturday the 28th of February. Going over the price action on the 27th, which was yesterday. Looking at the price action on Nasdaq 100 and just going over the peers to wrap up this month. So let's get right into the video. Yesterday I didn't take any trades. It was the last day of the month. Didn't like the price action, so I just decided to just stay out of the marketplace and just wait for next week. So no trades executed by me yesterday. The previous day was a bit of a wild one in terms of price action, and today we just had a small range day. So let's get right into the video. So I'm going to look over some other pairs. So this is currently gold, and so we're basically heading back for all-time highs. We were in this area a couple weeks ago. Well, I think it was in January, before we had the massive sell-off. Silver slowly making its way back up to, with everything escalating with Iran now, I think we could basically gap up. This is German index. So the DAX is trading a bit cleaner than Nasdaq, as in trending more upwards. We have a few sloppy days in it, but still it's trending upwards. Now we have US 500, and this is just a mess. This looks like the top is in, but honestly I don't know. We could actually come back up again and then drop, but this looks like the top is in, and this is just, it looks like a barcode. Complete sideways movement, like complete range for the last 2 months or almost 3 months actually. US 30, pretty much the same thing. We kind of went for the all-time highs earlier this month. If you notice, the monthly candle went all the way up here, and so we end up close all the way back down in the range down here. So if you're paying attention to this pair, you realize how it's still trading choppy like the rest of them, but this one, it looks like the top is in, but there's a lot of divergence between it and Nasdaq and S&P. Now looking at Nasdaq, bit of a mess again. It made all-time highs last month, or almost made all-time highs, and then now this month we attempted again, but we didn't quite make it up there. So yesterday we had a massive sell-off. Then today, well, it will be yesterday, we had a small range day, just sold off, took out the previous daily low. Then we just retraced back into the range, and so we closed this weekly candle with a spinning top. So pretty indecisive here. So next week we either going gap down further, or we're going to run back up. I'm assuming that we're going gap down because of what's going on since the market closed for the weekend. Everything escalating with Iran, and we hit this gap that we traded above and ran these highs from the previous weeks, so that's what I'm looking at. So now let me show you the 4-hour time frame. So short small range there, not much points. Let me see, actually 250, almost 300 points. almost 300 points right there, but not much movement, you could say. It was very choppy, lackluster, but that's the kind of price action we've been getting on Nasdaq for the last couple of weeks. I'm still holding my buys on EU, but I'm a bit worried right now because I held it over the weekend. I didn't close anything. I think I got in from somewhere down here, but with everything going on, people probably pile back into the dollar and cause this thing to sell off. So expecting that we might come back down here to a break even, you know. Worst case scenario, gap below and come to this level right here. But yeah, that's what I'm currently seeing. And then now, but I wanted price to run these highs, get back up to this all-time high here on this time frame. But let us see. So let me show you the higher time frame now, the lower time frame. So first we have this 1 hour chart, and like I said, the price action isn't the cleanest. We came down, came back up. So we opened with a gap here, went up, came back down, went back up, came back down, and we just ended the day there. So that is the 1 hour. The 15-minute time frame, you could have caught some sells from this area right here after we run these internal highs. I think this was the high from PM session, New York PM session, Thursday. And then now we took out previous daily low before retracing back into this new day opening gap and rejected. But that's how we actually did yesterday. So I'm going just now quickly switch to trading view, go over the price action, some of the opportunities that presented themselves. So let me show you now. Asian session choppy, but we had some decent buys going up. Nice little push here. I didn't even mark out the macros because I wasn't on the chart. Then we had later on in London session, we had these. Let me zoom in this a bit. So we had some buys here. So sell here to open Frankfurt, then buys at the open of London. It's around 130 there about. And we just continued up, pull back into here, fair value gap, and then we ran for the highs again. By the time we got to late London session, we started to roll over, and that was pretty much the high of the day. So right here we started to sell off for a couple points, or about 100 points to this low. Then we retrace again back to this order block. Nice little order block for a sell, and then we just melted down, came back up, consolidated here, then we went back down. And like I said, like the price action is not the cleanest. So consolidation inside this macro. There was a buy in here, but you have to be very careful when trading like the mountain. Sometimes it's not the cleanest. So we had that sell off right there, came back down, and this was pretty much the low for the New York session. So we had this low right here, and when we open NYSE, we just ran back up, consolidated, just sideways movement. Like this is just a mess. On a Friday, and the last day of the month, there's no business for you being on the charts like this. So I decided I'm not going to force any trades. The best setup I'm seeing here, we could have got this buy, but once we got this, you could have went break even until we took the highs, but once we took the PM session highs, that was pretty much it. Then we had this sell off during lunch hour macro coming back down, so using this as an inverted fair value gap, and you'd have entered all the way down here because this is a very long candle, unless you're using a different entry technique. It's a big inversion. We traded back up into this and we just melt back down, and PM session pretty much the same thing, not the cleanest price action. So we farmed these lows here, finally took out this little low, and then now we just traded back up. But like I said, not the cleanest price action. You could have find scalps inside of this move, but you have to be taking the little 50 pips and just leave. Like if you're holding and hoping for more, then you're going to get break even. So that is how we ended the day. Like I said, like if you're holding and hoping for too much, then you're going to get stopped out. So here I have this marked as a little demand level right here, and that is what we traded back into. Let me switch the color. OB. This also was a nice little order block that we were respecting before we bounce higher. But that is how we just bounce back and forth for a couple hours and just ended the day right there. So that is pretty much this video. Hoping to get some cleaner trades going into next week, going into next month, trying to recover this account. So that is really it. But until next time, guys, peace.